Just in, major changes are coming for millions of pensioners across the UK as the Department for Work and Pensions quietly rolls out a brand new set of banking rules designed to tighten security, speed up payments, and clamp down on delays that have been frustrating people for years. If you're receiving the state pension, pension credit, attendance allowance, carer's allowance, or any form of DWP benefit into your bank account, today's update is going to matter more than you might think. These 6 new rules are being introduced to protect pensioners, modernize the payment system, and prevent mistakes or interruptions that could leave people short on money. And tonight, I'm breaking down exactly what's changing, why it's happening now, and what every pensioner needs to do next to make sure their payments keep arriving without any disruption. Over the past few months, the DWP has been under pressure to improve the reliability and transparency of payments, especially after several unexpected delays and frozen accounts created panic among vulnerable claimants. Many pensioners shared stories of waking up to missing payments, unexplained verification requests from their banks, and unexpected security holds triggered by automated systems that were never clearly explained. These problems pushed the government and the banking sector to review the entire system and agree on a coordinated response. And that response has now taken shape in the form of 6 new rules that will apply to all pensioners receiving DWP payments, including those using traditional banks, online-only accounts, and even credit unions. The goal, according to officials, is to create a smoother, faster, and safer payment process that reduces errors while keeping every pensioner's money protected from fraud and disruption. The first major change focuses on identity verification across all banks. For years, banks relied on their own internal checks, which often flagged pensioners at random, leading to frozen accounts or requests for documents that were difficult for older individuals to access or provide quickly. Under the new system, banks must verify pensioner details directly with the DWP using a secure electronic link, which means far fewer unexpected account freezes and far fewer delays caused by manual checks. Pensioners will no longer need to repeatedly confirm their identity every time a bank's automated system detects an irregularity. Instead, banks will use immediate verification through the DWP, dramatically reducing mistakes. This is one of the biggest improvements pensioners have been asking for, especially those who experience payment interruptions due to simple mismatches between old records and new digital systems. The second rule introduces a strict timeline that banks must follow when processing incoming DWP payments. Previously, banks could delay funds for internal processing, fraud checks, or system updates, causing many pensioners to receive their money hours, sometimes days, later than scheduled. The DWP has now mandated that banks release pension payments as soon as they are received, with no internal holds unless there is confirmed evidence of fraud. This ensures that pensioners get their money exactly on the morning it's scheduled to arrive, eliminating one of the most common complaints in the system. This rule alone is expected to prevent thousands of late payments every single month, especially during bank holidays or high-volume payment weeks. The third change introduces a new emergency payment protocol that banks must follow if a pensioner's account is accidentally blocked or if a payment is delayed due to a technical error. Under the new rule, any pensioner who does not receive their payment by the expected time will be eligible for a same-day emergency transfer, issued through a partnered support system between banks and the DWP. This resolves one of the most stressful problems pensioners have faced, being told by banks to wait 24 to 48 hours while essential bills go unpaid. Now, instead of being passed between the DWP and the bank with no answers, pensioners will receive immediate support and priority service to restore their funds. This emergency protocol is being described as a major breakthrough, especially for elderly individuals who rely on pensions for rent, heating, and daily living expenses. The fourth rule introduces mandatory fraud protection alerts specifically tailored for pensioners. In recent years, criminal groups have increasingly targeted older bank customers by impersonating DWP staff, creating fake text messages, and sending scam emails that looked almost identical to official government communications. These scams have cost pensioners millions of pounds, and the new rule requires banks to automatically notify pensioners if any suspicious activity is detected involving their benefits. Instead of silent blocks or confusing account restrictions, pensioners will now receive clear alerts letting them know if someone has attempted to access their account, redirect payments, or create false standing orders. Banks are also required to provide a dedicated fraud prevention line for pensioners, staffed by people trained to recognize the specific scams that target older adults. The goal is not just to stop fraud after it happens, but to prevent it before any money goes missing. The fifth new rule focuses on account suitability. Many pensioners have been unknowingly using bank accounts that are not designed for regular government deposits, including certain savings accounts, basic low-activity accounts, or accounts with withdrawal limits. This has sometimes resulted in payments being rejected or sent back to the DWP. The new rule requires banks to assess whether a pensioner's account type is appropriate for recurring benefits, and if not, the bank must contact the pensioner and help them switch to an account that supports DWP payments. This ensures pensioners are not left confused when funds are returned, delayed, or flagged simply because the account type wasn't compatible with incoming benefits. For pensioners who prefer not to change accounts, banks must now offer a simple upgrade option so the current account can be converted without requiring a brand new one. The sixth and final rule addresses communication and transparency. This is an area where both banks and the DWP have struggled for years. Pensioners often received vague letters, unclear explanations, or automated messages that didn't describe the real issue. The new guidance requires banks to clearly explain any payment issues, account changes, freezes, or verification steps in plain, easy-to-understand language. Every communication must detail what happened, why it happened, and what the pensioner needs to do next. This applies to text messages, letters, emails, and phone calls. Banks must also provide pensioners with a summary of all payment activity involving DWP deposits, allowing them to track every incoming payment without confusion. This new transparency rule is expected to drastically reduce the stress and uncertainty that pensioners have felt whenever something goes wrong with their payments. These new rules are being introduced because of a rising number of complaints from older citizens who said the banking system was becoming too automated, too rigid, and too difficult to navigate. Many pensioners reported that they felt unheard, especially when dealing with long call center wait times or when payments simply failed with no explanation. The DWP has also faced criticism from MPs and charities who claim that the government was not doing enough to ensure pensioners' financial stability. With these 6 new rules, banking and benefits administrators hope to restore trust and make sure pensioners feel protected, respected, and prioritized. For many older people, their pension isn't just a payment, it's their lifeline. It covers heating bills during winter, medication, weekly shopping, and transportation. A delay of even a few hours can create major stress, especially for those who live on a fixed income. That's why these new rules are being described as a landmark overhaul in how pensions are delivered, and why experts believe it will make a real difference in the everyday lives of millions of retirees. If you are a pensioner watching this right now, or you have parents, grandparents, or neighbors who depend on DWP payments, now is the time to make sure everything is in order. Check that your bank has your most up-to-date details. Make sure you have access to your account, mobile alerts, and communication channels. If you've ever experienced delays or unexplained account issues before, these new rules mean you should start seeing improvements very soon. The DWP says the rollout will happen in phases across the coming weeks, which means some people will notice changes immediately, while others will see adjustments gradually as banks update their systems. But the overall message from officials is clear. Pensioners should expect faster payments, fewer interruptions, better communication, stronger protection, and immediate support if something goes wrong. As always, I'll be monitoring every update closely. If any new details, timelines, or changes are announced, I'll bring them straight to you so you always stay ahead of the news. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an important alert about pensions, benefits, or payment changes. If you have questions, drop them in the comments and I'll answer as many as I can. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next update.